I don't think that we put an end of interactive media installations. I mean, the interactive media installation took off. After that, yes, the video art faded out, but the whole interactive digital art boomed till now. Now these artists are fading out, and what brought into was more the crafts and design factor. What after us came, yeah, the whole digital production was more facing the transition from art into crafts and design, the whole schizophrenic discussions, do I am for my identity an artist or a designer, that was kicked off by us, because it was not anymore the exclusive selective production in an intimate space how artists are working. Then about the downloading generally it's good because it disseminates know-how and content and wisdom of society. I mean, there was nothing better than this the first music service, which was a free download, and you could hear music which you otherwise would never have access to it. Yeah, to Napster. Napster was was the next generation of opening up the brain of society and have access to things which have not been accessible before. Web 2.0 and the whole YouTube generation, it's just a clever capitalistic move, because the capitalists know quite good that they will run out of money if they are not producing new ideas of
running out of content.
No, they will not running out because they own the content. They will send the John Wayne films, if it's necessary, 1,000 times again and again, and if it's not anymore black and white, then they will
jump in after it.
They will digitize it and put it into color. But what is Web 2.0 and the whole social software networking socials? This is just here for the companies are creating the infrastructures, yeah? And so they don't have the breadth and the energy, and that is actually where we started off the discussion today. These companies have not the breadth and the energy to create the content anymore.
And that's a problem.
And well, it's a fact, yeah. And they also not only have the breadth and energy, they also don't have the money to produce the content, because producing content is very expensive. So clever capitalists, what they do, they create a platform and put the stamp democracy on top of it, and say freedom of speech of everybody, and from the kid from the backyard till to the high-profile artist, everybody can put the video free of cost on my site. We grow up perfectly alright. Who makes the bucks? The company, not the people. It was a very bad move, and it was a strategical bad move of YouTube that they did not redistribute that billions of dollars to actually the producers. It was from the marketing point, not from the, I don't speak from the business model. It was from a marketing point a very bad move, because if they would distribute even just a tenth of it back to the user, it would be strategically, will guarantee them that they are the big major players. So, and I don't want to talk about MySpace and all of that. This is just a public relation platform which provides people and companies a super surface for individually reach customers, and make them even more addicted to the shopping cycle. And it's so far away from discussion where we started of
yeah, but I think it's important that one of the main experience which came is also this. One of our turning points was the not satisfaction of representation or production in public space or in private space, not having the tools. That's always the thing we started with, and so this became something political. Also, I mean, third world and everything, give them production possibilities. It's becoming a mainstream to give people space. That's why it's called MySpace. The problem is real space, where people get together in real space and not only in virtual space, because we felt that in many cases it was important for the help of education to have these media to connect We have the very old networks we've been involved to, which was Infomental video magazines from the 80s, before you had broadcast possibilities, before you was sending videotapes to know what this art group or this technology was doing on the ass in the world, and we couldn't travel, we couldn't pay, there was no EasyJet. But today, I think a big chance on TV is still the educational aspect. And the freedom of art, I would call it also, we have to, me personally, I don't know if my colleagues agree with, you need the freedom of education, that this kind of, how do you call it, Entmündigung.
Patronizing.
No, patronizing, when you're not allowed to decide on yourself, when parents don't have the possibility to decide. So I think that the education of the kids, for example, is totally monopolized by industry. When the people get to school with the brands, with the video games, with Pokemon, with everything, the education of the parents stops at the age of 5. And at that certain moment, the industry takes over everything. So there has been no control of the content of this education in the last 20 years. And that's where we have a critical problem, because it's the commercial bleeding out of the kids. They buy the stuff because they think they need it. It's easy to manipulate a kid, and there's no chance as a parents to fight against it because they don't have the information. This is this generation slice I was saying. There's products for 5 years old, there's products for it, but there's no platforms in the media for this vertical kind of generation thing where you can share values. A father of a kid who's in this Doom program or in this Warcraft, he cannot share it anymore if he's not inside. He can't evaluate it, he doesn't know it. And this is splitting and slicing the generation, means taking away the educational possibilities of the parents concerning what the kids and the contents are happening. So there's a industrial and commercial slicing up of the control on education on the kids, which kinds of dissects them totally from their parents, and I think on the collective thing, the collective ritual quality, which we had in some projects, which we always like, has to be brought through the generation back into the media. And this is, I think, the edutainment or the education of the future, which brings back serious contents. And where TV or similar things can, through the level of guide or education, can re-establish values, which is not only the kind of politically correct protection of okay, we're spending the money politically correctly, it's all symbolically. It's not the real space, it's the representative space today in politics, in media, which is more important than the real space of the kids or the people of the creative. So this is my paranoia now on education happening through let's say, programs like MySpace or through the video games, or where you lose totally the control on the kids, on the contents, and you don't have any more communication with them, so that the vertical kind of communication between the generation don't happen anymore. So this is maybe not so much an artistic problem, but it's a cultural problem, which is also connected to artistic expression.
I mean, there's an indoctrination as well that happens there, I guess, that, you know, you find companies do often give free software to schools, and, you know, it's a PR boost for them, but at the same time, it's essentially training kids to use their tools and their software, and later on down the road, of course, they're not going to be given those things for free, but they'll be so reliant on them that they'll have no choice but to kind of pay to use them either.
You have the $1 computer program in Africa.